Hello students, we are studying chapter flow of liquids. Today we are starting energy of flowing liquid. A flowing liquid has three energies. First is pressure energy. Let us understand. Suppose some liquid is flowing through this tube. Cross section is A, and you know that for flow of liquid pressure is required, so pressure P is applied. Suppose liquid travels a distance L, then volume of liquid flowing will be A into L. Work done for flow of liquid, force into displacement, force pressure into area, and this work done is energy. Energy per unit volume, total energy divided by volume. Volume is A into L. So it comes out to be P. Means pressure energy of flowing liquid per unit volume. Please keep in mind we are finding energy per unit volume is equal to pressure. Second, kinetic energy. Suppose liquid is flowing such that m mass of liquid flows and volume of that mass is V. Then kinetic energy will be half mv square. V is speed of liquid. You are familiar. So kinetic energy per unit volume, total energy divided by volume, and mass upon volume is called density. So kinetic energy per unit volume is half rho V square. Third is potential energy. Suppose a liquid is flowing in a tube at height h. M mass of the liquid is flowing and volume of that mass is V. So potential energy of that liquid will be mgh. Potential energy per unit volume, mgh divided by volume, and mass upon volume is called density rho. So potential energy per unit volume is rho gh. These are three energies of flowing liquid: pressure energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy. And these energies are taken per unit volume. Keep in mind. Students, we are starting new topic which is very important, Bernoulli's theorem. Bernoulli's theorem states that if some ideal liquid is flowing through a tube, then at every cross section sum of all three energies, that is pressure energy, kinetic energy and potential energy, remains constant. I repeat, if ideal liquid is flowing through a tube, then at every cross section sum of all three energies is a constant, that is P plus half rho V square plus rho gh is equal to constant. Let us prove this. At entry, pressure applied is P1, speed is V1, cross section is A1, and mean height is H1. Similarly, you understand values at exit. If speed is V1, then liquid will travel a distance V1 in 1 second. So volume flowing per second will be A1 V1. And pressure is P1. So force applied will be P1 into A1. I repeat, force is P1 into A1 and distance traveled in 1 second is V1. So work done at entry will be force into displacement. Therefore, work done at entry is P1, A1, V1. By same logic, work done at exit will be P2 A2 V2. So here this much work is done and exit this work is obtained. Therefore net work done will be P1 A1 V1 minus P2 A2 V2. And already we know that in principle of continuity that A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2 equal to M by rho. So A1 V1 M by rho, A2 V2 M by rho is taken common. When work is done on a system, energy of the system increases. So let us find increase in energy. Gain in kinetic energy will be half mv2 square. This kinetic energy minus this kinetic energy. Half mv2 square minus half mv1 square. Similarly, gain in potential energy mgh2 minus mgh1. So total gain in energy is equal to gain in kinetic energy plus gain in potential energy. And this gain in energy is because of work done. So work done is equal to gain in energy. This is work done and this is gain in energy. M is taken common, M is cancelled. Now rho is multiplied right hand side. So finally we are getting this equation. Now this equation can be arranged in this way. So total energy at entry is equal to total energy at exit. Means at every cross section total energy remains constant. From this equation we can write like this. Suppose pipe is horizontal. Pipe is horizontal like this. If pipe is horizontal, so H1 is equal to H2. In this condition, this factor and this factor, rather this term and this term, are cancelled for horizontal pipe. So from this equation we can write like this: P1 plus half rho V1 square is equal to P2 plus half rho V2 square. Or in general we can write P plus half rho V square is equal to constant. So this proves Bernoulli's theorem. Students, now there are some interesting applications of Venturi meter. Some interesting applications of Bernoulli's theorem. One application is Venturi meter. Venturi meter is a device which measures rate of flow. Rate of flow means volume flowing per second of a liquid. It is a horizontal tube. Some portion is narrow. On broad portion, cross section is A1, speed is V1, and liquid rises to height H1. Two vertical tubes are provided to see level of liquids. Since here pressure will be less, according to Bernoulli's theorem, P plus half rho V square is equal to constant. P plus half rho V square is equal to constant. Cross section is broad, so speed will be less. And according to Bernoulli's theorem, if speed is less, pressure will be high, so liquid rises to more height. Here cross section is A2, speed is V2, and level of liquid is H2. So difference in liquid is H1 minus H2. Let us suppose this value is H. Rate of flow is given by A1 V1 if you think is this cross section, or A2 V2 if you take this cross section. Any one cross section can be taken. By principle of continuity, you can write A1 B1 is equal to A2 B2. From here, V2 is equal to A1 B1 upon A2. Since it is horizontal tube, so we can write Bernoulli's theorem for horizontal tube. Value of V2 is put here. Then solve, and finally you get P1 minus P2 is equal to half rho A1 square minus A2 square upon A2 square into V1 square. Students, you know that P is equal to rho GH. It becomes rho GH1 minus rho GH2. Rho G will be common and H1 minus H2 is equal to H. Rho is cancelled from here. So V1 is equal to this much. Now take value of V1 from here and put in equation 1. So rate of flow is given by Q is equal to A1 A2 under root 2 GH upon A1 square minus A2 square. Students, so many applications of Bernoulli's theorem are given in the book. One application already explained, Venturi meter. Two more applications I am going to explain, and other applications you will read yourself and understand. Aeroplane wings. Aeroplane wings are slightly curved from upside and almost flat downside. When plane moves, layer of air pass over the wing and below the wing. Since this portion is curved, so air has to travel more distance, therefore speed of air is more. And if speed is more, according to Bernoulli's theorem, P plus half rho V square is equal to constant, pressure will be less. So upside pressure is less. By same logic, here speed is more, so pressure is high. High pressure upwards, low pressure downwards. So a pressure difference is created, and direction of this pressure difference is upwards. This pressure difference gives a thrust, and because of that thrust of force, you can say plane lifts. You might be knowing swinging of balls. Good bowlers, good cricketers throw their balls such that the ball swings in air, floats in air. It is also based on Bernoulli's theorem. When ball is thrown such that it is spinning in air, then one side direction of spinning and direction of motion are same, other side direction of spinning and direction of motion are opposite. The resultant velocity on one side will be sum of two velocities v plus u, and other side it will be difference of two velocities v minus u. According to Bernoulli's theorem, here velocity is more, so pressure will be less, and here velocity is less, so pressure will be more. So a pressure difference is created, and because of that pressure difference, the ball moves in the direction of pressure difference in air itself. This effect is called Magnus effect, and it is based on Bernoulli's theorem.